When you're a student, you want a fun, reliable, and safe vehicle to get you around. But if you find yourself in the wrong type of car, the experience can be extremely terrifying. So here's a list of the 5 worst types of cars for students. And an honorable mention, baby, that you're gonna wanna stay far, far, far away from. With the last one on this list being straight up deadly. Let's go! First up on this list are fast cars. The ones with high horsepower, either naturally aspirated V8s like the Mustang or the Camaro, as well as those sneaky ones with the turbo, rally car breds like the Focus RS, or even the new Supra. See, as an inexperienced driver, you're more likely to use the gas pedal a little too much, or at least more than an experienced driver. And those extra horses don't help the matter. Yeah, this can induce oversteer, which can be the beginning of a very bad day. So yeah, cars with a lot of horsepower are ones that we should look forward to owning, but they shouldn't be a car that we own as a student. Yeah, convertibles can be a lot of fun. They let you experience motoring in my favorite form, topless, and it does make you feel a little bit more connected to the road. That being said, students shouldn't drive convertibles. And the main reason being that you can get too distracted way too easily. With all the wind and road noise, it's difficult to keep conversation with other passengers. And remember, in your first few years of driving, paying attention to the road is the #1 and only thing you should be doing. Plus, safety isn't necessarily the best in a roadster. If you're involved in a rollover accident, yeah, things aren't looking so hot for you, because convertibles and roadsters offer way less protection. So even though the answer to everything is Miata, it might not be the best car for a student. And other cars that you might want to skip are the V6 versions of both the Camaro and the Mustang. Now, before we get into the next type of car that is not great for a student, let me ask you the ideal question of the day, and let us know down in the comments what you think is the ultimate student car. Whether you're in high school or college, what is that ideal car and why? Let us know down in the comments. Let's carry on, baby. One of the most tempting types of cars for students are old cars. And realistically, you should just swipe left for anything that's old. Why? Because although old cars seem like a good value, even the nicest ones lack the safety features that the newest cars of today have standard. And if you're a student, you gotta be thinking about safety. And if you're looking at something that's 20+ years old, it might not have anti-lock brakes, some sort of stability control, or airbags, which without those safety features can turn just a normal fender bender into something way worse. Also, older cars just tend to break down more often, so they're less reliable. But still, getting something newer is way better than something that's old. So although it may be tempting to get a Fox body Mustang or that mid-engine Pontiac Fiero or some sort of shaggin' wagon, it's best you spend your money somewhere else. You should tread cautiously with anything that's been lifted either from the factory or even more so if it's aftermarket. Yeah, off-road vehicles seem safer because they're bigger and heavier than most cars on the road, but by lifting that center of gravity, it also makes it easier to roll over. And not only that, but if you have a lifted SUV or truck, there's an additional blind spot, because if you're higher than all the cars around you, you may not see one and just go straight into their lane without even knowing they're there. So the best plan of attack if you're a student is wait a couple of years before you actually get your first modified or even stock SUV, especially if you plan on lifting it. Which brings us to that time. It is time for that honorable mention, baby. One of the biggest things as a student is you want something that's reliable. And you know what's not reliable? A modified car or truck. Yeah, whether it's modifications to the engine, or maybe somebody's selling a car that's been lowered, or they've decided to sell a car that has a lift kit on it. All of these things make the car or truck way less reliable. And if you're a student, you probably don't have a lot of cash. And so when that car's out, well, you're either bussing or trying to borrow someone else's, which is never fun. The SubCompact's on the list because, well, it's the deadliest type of car built. Yeah, because these cars aren't very heavy, subcompacts have more fatalities than any other type of vehicle on the road. And the one that tops the list is this little bugger, the Hyundai Accent. So you wouldn't want to be caught dead in that thing. So instead, if you want to switch gears and check out all 5 cars that every high schooler should buy, click here. Or check out what YouTube recommends you watch next. Oh, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. But either way, you can't lose, and as always, keep living that ideal lifestyle.